Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the This Is the Music Meets Podcast, an independent podcast show that's dedicated to introducing you to rising indie and alternative artists from across the UK and Ireland. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any future episodes. And please do leave a like and a comment on this episode, as it really will make a difference to the artist that we interview. Right then, let's get into this week's show. It's time for episode 164, and I'm delighted to have been joined by one of Liverpool's best kept secrets in Harry Fazakerley, which I'm sure is going to change in 2026. Over the course of today's episode, we're going to talk about Harry's new single, When You Cry, selling out the O2 Academy in Liverpool, looking back on his 3 previous single releases, and much, much more. Harry, thanks very much for joining me on episode 164 of the This Is the Music Meets podcast. How
My
you doing,
pleasure.
mate?
I tell you what, Mark, I am boss. Do you know what? I can't complain, and I'm just like it's the day of the release. Well, the night of the release.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm just dead excited, dead anticipated, and I just want to get it out there and see what the score is.
yeah, definitely. Well, it's obviously, always with releases, it's always a very, really exciting time
Yeah,
for
love
artists,
it.
and obviously we're going to come on to that in a little while. But obviously, as I say, there's lots to discuss because you've obviously been around for about 18 months or so releasing music, and a little bit obviously started before then. But sort of to kick us off, really for anyone sort of discovering you for the first time, where did music sort of first come into your life?
Do you know what? It's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. Because me dad, he'd drive us to footy, and he'd always have James, the Killers, Oasis, all boss bands on like that. And he always had a good understanding of music because he loved going to gigs, but he was very open and said that he could never play guitar because his fingers were too fat. So he always said, "I'd love to do it, but I just don't have the fingers for it." So growing up, it was always on in the house, on in the car. When we were having tea, we'd listen to a few tunes, throw them on, and then vice versa with me ma. She'd be making tea for the night, and then she'd just throw on the greatest hits of ABBA, and crack on like that, or a bit of Grease. She loves a bit of Grease. So
little bit of dancing around the table, like dinner table and that. Yeah.
but I've so growing up, it was always just on. And it was never one of them things where it was later discovered in life, because for as far as what I can remember, my dad would be having us opening up big massive collections of CDs that he'd acquired over the years and throwing on Bowie and Pink Floyd and all of that. So it would be everywhere. I couldn't escape it. I think I was destined to end up trying to sing or whatever.
So when did that happen then? When did you sort of first pick up a guitar and sort of get into music, sort of learning how to play other people's songs before progressing obviously to where you are now?
Yeah, so my brother dances and he loves his acting, his singing and all of that. He's a better singer than me, but don't tell him I've said that. And,
We'll edit that bit out, mate. It's all right.
and growing up, it was always George doing stuff. George is dancing, George in a show. And I played footy, but I wasn't very good. I'm still not very good. And my man and dad quickly realised I'll never earn a living because I've got 2 left feet. And he would think, Jesus Christ, what's our Harry going to do? He's just on the sidelines watching George do all of this. So my man went, should we try give him some guitar lessons to give him something to do rather than just sitting in the house and watching telly all day when I was about 7 years old. So then February half term 2016, I got taken down for my first lesson in Waterloo, and I had tonsillitis at the time, and it was the last thing I wanted to do when you've got
Yeah.
the lady, was to sit there for half an hour and have a stranger talk to you for the entirety of the lesson and try to get to know you, build a bit of a connection.
Mhm.
And I was just sat there rolling my eyes, dead reluctant, as you are at that age. All you want to do is play footy. But
Yeah.
I was crap. You were pushing me, and then the penny dropped quickly when I was about 4 weeks into it. So I'd had about 4 or 5 lessons at that time. And I was learning Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And my showed us this video of us only a few weeks into the lessons, and I'd just been able to play the entire thing. Like on the video, it took us about 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
I still played it, so I was still chuffed with that. And it was after that where I was like, mentally, I got the bug for it. But
Yeah.
then I never told anyone because I was very embarrassed about playing the guitar because I didn't want to be like the big I am and go, get on me, look what I'm doing type of thing. So I kept it to myself for years. And I got up and played at the primary school even do, as you do. As I
Yeah.
don't live forever, but I just played guitar. And then when we got to high school, secondary school, again I never told anyone. I kept it to myself for quite a while, up until year nine. And all my mates and all of that were listening to George Michael, Careless Whisper, as you do at 14 years old. And we just discovered that. And then I went home after my lesson, and then I was like, just sat there, and I had the tune on because I was obsessed with it. We all were. And then I went, you know what? I can play that. And then that seems to be the switch from I play guitar, that's a hobby, to I play the guitar, and I feel like I could do it a bit more, more
Yeah.
advanced type of thing. But like even from an early age, like I'd say I want to be a musician, I want to play guitar, I want to be a guitarist. But I never wanted to sing, funnily enough. That was just never on my radar.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was in a band like for about 2 years before all the music thing kicked off. And I was like a bit of a I was younger. I was 13, and the singer was 17, and the lead guitarist was 16. Just a three-piece at the time. And I was just like happy to be in a band,
Hmm.
get out and play the guitar and have a sing song and all of that. So then when that like disbanded because the guitarist went to uni, the singer she went to uni herself. It like went its own ways, and as they do, most bands do. And then it was from then on. After that, I'd already established like I wanted to do it after playing Careless Whisper at 14. And all my mates knew I play guitar, and like it'd be a bit of a party trick where I'd get up and like I'd listen to the song and then I'd play it and they'd all go crackers like, what? How'd you do that? Magic.
Right, so you're literally picking that up the chords by ear. You're not like, going on to well, I used to use Ultimate Guitar when I played badly. Is that, I don't know if people still use that, but
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
just picking that up, yeah, just from here, was you?
Yeah. So like
Wow.
I'd be able to like I remember it was the lockdown, no, 2020, and then me dad got given this Beatles anthology book, and it was all the Beatles songs ever written. And I can't even remember what one it was, but like we were just having a mess about in the garden at that time because there was nothing else to do, was there? So
No.
then we were in the garden and it was boss weather, and then I brought the guitar out, and then my dad brought this book out just for a laugh, and he said, Harry, try play one of these. So I was looking at the chords and the notation of the music, and I was being able to read it. And then like my man and dad were just silent. But I thought it was because like I wasn't playing it well or I was messing up. And then I looked at them and I was like, is this the right tune? Am I doing it well? And they went, Jesus Christ, Harry, how have you done that? You never learned that before? And I said, no, I don't know what the tune is. And they were like, wow, that's mad, that. And from then
Wow.
on, it's just carried on. Eh, I'll come downstairs and I'll go like my dad will have greatest hits of U2 on,
Yeah.
and I'll go and listen and I'll be like, yeah, I reckon I can play that. And then it still shocks them now, like
Wow.
6 years on. But to me, it's second nature now, and
Yeah.
it's a talent that I don't take for granted. Being able to do that, and I don't want to be like the kids at the parties going, "Oh, I'll get my guitar out," type of thing. I like this one. Let's have a sing song. But yeah,
No, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I know there obviously been lots of other people that have can play by ear, but to hear that you were doing it literally like straight away as well at such a young age, that's generally
yeah,
blown me away because a similar story to you with the guitar, well, and your dad as well. Actually, I've got fat fingers as well, so it makes it difficult to get those old bar chords going. So I'll leave them ones out. I see one of them on the, when I'm trying to learn how to play a song, no, we'll leave that here. We'll just go back to the open chords, thanks. That'll do me.
yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously I think I learnt the Hovis advert. Do you remember that one? Probably I'm a
Oh,
little bit older than you, so
that's a
probably
pretty
not.
bad.
Yeah, I learned that, and I think I learned pretty quickly that no, I didn't really want to just learn that. I wanted to learn songs, and yeah,
Yeah.
I got taught eventually. But yeah, it took a bit of a way. Anyway, this podcast isn't about me. I don't know why I'm waffling on about my failed musical career because no one needs to know it anyway. But obviously, just from where you were then.
Yeah.
Well, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but rewinding to from where we are now to February 2025, because obviously you did your debut headline show at the Zanzibar,
Yeah.
very famous venue for those that don't know it, up in Liverpool. So, how important was that night for you as an artist?
Well, oh my God. That gig, it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was in the March because I released my second single on the 14th and then it was the
Right.
week after. So I think it was in March. Might be mistaken. But so it was 5 weeks before that gig, so early January, not late January, early February maybe. And the promoters and the management at the time came to me and said, look, listen, because they said the band who whose headliner is have had to drop out because the drummer's broke his knee and he can't do it. And I was like, oh God, that's a shame. Who are we gonna get instead? And then he turned to us like they were in our front room and said, like, do you want to do it? And I went, whoa, let's just hold your horses there. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know. And I was sat there like thinking, oh Jesus Christ, headline in the Zanzi 5 weeks to go. That just sounds like disaster. And then my dad goes, yeah, come on, we'll do it. And I went, oh, will we? I don't know. He goes, yeah, come on, let's do it. Be a laugh. And I was like, okay, if you insist. So then the week after it was announced, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, let's just try get 10, 20 people in.
Yeah.
And the run up to that was like so, it felt so mad because it was just like my name on the poster and my face. And I was like, oh, right, that's mad, that. Then the closer and closer it got to the date, more and more tickets online were going. And I would have been happy if 100 tickets sold because it's a 200 capacity venue, or maybe a little bit more. And if it was half full with 5 weeks to go, I'd lose no sleep. So
Mhm.
I was thinking that'll be a good sign. And I think it'll be for the debut headline, it'll be good because it's a very, very a big capacity and people normally start in like the Jack and the Kaz around the corner, which are Liverpool venues that are like a 70 cap or a 35 person capacity. And then it got to a week before the gig, and I wanted nothing to do with the ticket sales because I was just saying, if I play the guitar, then nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And then I said to me dad, do you have any clue on what's going on? Have you messaged anyone? Because he's a spark and he's got nothing to do with the music. Like, professionally, he's not in the industry. We're cracking on. And I said to him, have you spoken to them to see how we're doing? And he goes, yeah, I know a figure. And I went, oh, is it decent? And he goes, do you want to know? I said, okay. He said, 150 tickets have gone so far. I said, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of people, that. And then this was the week before, and then the lead up to it, it was like 155, 160, 165, 170. And then on the day of, we had 183 tickets sold for like a 200 person capacity, or it might be a little bit more, I think. And then I was thinking, that's a lot of people that, for
Hmm.
me to come and listen to my tunes. That is mad. And I'm sound checking, and then we went for the Burger King beforehand, me and the band. And we're thinking, yeah, this is boss. We're gonna get over 150 people in here. And then there was still tickets left on the door. And I was like, oh boss, we might just get a few people walking past. If I go, oh yeah, I'm singing here. Do you want to come and have a little listen? People might be going, yeah, go on, nothing else to do. Let's have a little nose. So then on the day of the gig, doors had opened at like 7 o'clock and people were just piling in. And Mark, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just mental. Because people are already here. I'm not on for like another 3 hours. And they're piling in. And then it got to the stage where I went outside for a little breather, just for a bit of fresh air and try to clean my head a bit. And then I walked back in, and the security went, well, sorry, with the capacity. I went, no, I'm singing, you know. I said, oh, yeah, sorry, crack on. And then I was like, did he just say we've hit the capacity? So I messaged me dad and said, I think this is like the capacity, you know. And he went, look, listen, let's just concentrate on the gig first. Whatever happens, happens, and then we'll crack on with that later. So I walked on, and then from the minute I walked on stage, it was just like surreal because it weren't even like having to win the crowd over it. They were just ready to go for it.
Yeah.
And I'd done a few covers because I'd only written a few tunes there. And then it just seems to be every single tune released or a cover, people were just going, yes, get in. And I was like, oh my God, this is boss. I could get a taste for this. You know, I could
Yeah.
do this more often. Like, and then uh, about just before Patience, the the crowd started to chant, "Oh, Harry Fazakerley" to the tune of Seven Nation Army.
Brilliant.
And I was just sat there with a bottle of water, looking out to like over 200 people chanting this. And I'm going, oh my God, I am not going to sleep tonight. I'm just going to be like staring at my ceiling. And that's what happened. And then I'm sat there having my bottle of water and I'm turning to the band going, what's going on? And they're going, I don't know, but it's boss, isn't it? And they start playing along with it. And I'm going, oh my God, this is boss. And then I just said, okay, enough of that because I don't want like the attention going anywhere else. I said, one last tune now. You all know it. It's my debut release. Patience, and then it just went woo, and people were just keen for it. And then, like, I just look back at the video sometimes when I'm scrolling through my phone, and to see the reception that got at that gig alone was like mad. Like from the minute that riff like started, it just blew heads off. And the back like from what that gig benefit, like what that gig gave me after was just like a bit of an insight to think if this happens in 5 weeks, what else could happen in a longer
Yeah.
space of time? And it all like although it was so good as a performance and online and social media, it was also boss as a professional insight to think,
Mhm.
okay, you know, I can pull a few heads in here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see what more we can do. And then on the back of that, I got the phone call for Sound City. But funnily enough, I bought a ticket for it. I bought a weekend ticket months in advance. And then 2 weeks before the festival happened, I got the phone call and said, "Are you busy on the 5th? No, yeah, the 4th of May." And I went, "Yeah, that's Sound City." And then Sean went, "Yeah, yeah. Do you want to do it?" And I went, "Oh yeah. I've bought a ticket. So I get my door back." He went, "No." And I was like, "All right, that's 50 quid. I'm not going to see back." But nah. So that's what that gig gave me. That was the start of the journey, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, well, it sounds like quite a lot of like goosebumps moments as well, being up on stage,
Yeah.
obviously saying there, chanting your name to Seven Nations Army and Seven Nations Army, and all the exciting. I'm blown away as well by the security guard as well.
Oh,
Guy there,
what?
he's saying. You should, mate. I'm on the poster. Like, don't you recognise me? Like, come on. I mean, that would have been an interesting thing if he hadn't let you in at all, and then 200
That'd be a bit
people
of a
just look
pain.
like, yeah, yeah. And obviously, you just mentioned Sound City there, but I wanted to talk about. Obviously, you played Harry at the Cavern Club as well,
Yeah,
supporting
yeah,
Tom Rogan. So, was that the first time that you'd been there? Obviously, such a historical place,
yeah.
and all of that. So, yeah, what was it like for you being up on such at the Cavern?
Well, I tell you what. So the way that came about was I seen that Tom Rogan was headlining, and I was like, "Oh, that's sad. I might get a ticket for that." And it seems to be a recurring thing where I think I'm going to get a ticket for something, and then I'm asked to play. So then that came about, and I'd seen the poster, and I got in the shower, and then like I was having a sing song as you do, window cracked open, doing the neighbours' heads in, and then I got out, and then I had a phone call off an unrecognised number and two messages on Instagram, and I'm thinking, oh Jesus Christ, it's a neighbour kicking off. Oh, here we go. And then I opened my phone, and then it was Tom Logan, and he said, "Hiya, mate. I've been watching what you're doing for quite a while. Would you like to support me at the Cavern?" I was, "Oh yeah, go on. That sounds boss that." So then I said, "Anyway, straight away, yes, definitely, sign us up." And it was just a little acoustic set. So I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, that'll be nice, very intimate for such an established venue. I think that might go down well. And so I walked on for the sound check, and Tom Rogan was late, funnily enough. So he told us to get there for about 4 o'clock. He got there for 6. Musician's lifestyle for you, innit? And I sound checked first, and that felt a bit mad because like I was sound checking for the Cavern, and I
Hmm.
was like, oh my God, like the Beatles were kicking about it in here like yonks ago. And now
Yeah.
I'm here, some little lad off the Vale in Walton. And then I was like, oh my God, this is just mental. And we were cracking on with the sound check, and then it all went well. And then the other supports were coming in, and then I was singing the tunes, and then I've seen a few of like the people that they were bringing in with them singing along. I'm like, oh my God, that's bad, that. I sing it to my tunes. Hasn't even started yet. Sound check finished, and then we went into the green room, and then it was just me and my dad at this point. And I was like, oh my God, I'll tell you what, this is sound, this, innit? Like, there's pictures of Adele up in there. I think there's a few of the Arctic Monkeys, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's the big wall of, like, people who've played there, like, photos of them. And Sergio Aguero's in there, which I thought was mad.
Wow.
There's just him with a ball on stage, I think. And I was like, what? He can't sing a tune, surely. It's a very well-kept secret if he can, like. And I was just looking, and I must have been sidetracked for about 40 minutes, seeing all of these faces of the people who've played here
Yeah.
before. Obviously the Beatles, but then you don't like fully understand how big of a venue it is, especially because it's only like down the road from us.
Yeah.
When it's like you've got the Cavern pub, and then you go in the back, and then there's the Cavern Club, where
Yeah.
the green room is and the stage. And then I was seeing all of these people, like I was carrying my guitar to the back, and it's like sections off a bit and curtained off, and I felt like a proper celebrity walking through. And like I see people just staring, and I was going, "Easy," and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm proper boss me, yeah, get on us." That was like it felt like a bit of a statement, that one, like playing
Yeah.
the cap, because it's always a bit of a checklist, like a tick box in it,
Yeah.
and a dream venue for some, and for myself as well. And
Yeah.
then to say that like I've done it, will be is like boss. And now, a few years time, I'll fingers crossed go back and headline it. That's what I want to do,
Yeah.
rather than support. I like that. Fingers crossed.
No, well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's a question of if. I think it'll be a question of when it happens. You know what I mean?
Oh,
For me personally, no, honestly, I really do. I certainly love your stuff. So if it was
thank you.
down to me, then it would definitely happen. But yeah, but just also as well from that, because you obviously also at the back end of last year, you sold out your O2
Yeah,
Academy Liverpool headline show as well. I think that was a couple of months in advance as well, which is obviously
yeah.
absolutely huge as well. There's obviously, a lot of love for you up there in Liverpool. So what was your reaction, to selling out that show there? Because obviously we've spoken about the Zanzibar, sorry,
Yeah,
the Zanzibar earlier on, selling that out, or being under, well over halfway before you played that. So
yeah.
stepping up to another level, what was the reaction like to that when you found out that you've sold it out?
I tell you what. So, it was a few months like previous where I'd got it was put on the table for me essentially. I'd supported another local band called Dovegate, and then it
Yes,
was
yeah, we know them. They're good. Yeah,
yeah, they're boss them. And then it was a few weeks after that, so like the June or July, where it was proposed and said, Harry, we've got a date at the O2 Academy. Would you like to headline it? And then, same story. Oh, proper, what's it called? Cold feet. Getting
yep.
cold feet going, oh my God, O2. And then my dad jumps up and goes, yeah, he'll do it. Come on, he'll do it. And do you know what? So, funnily enough, it got announced on my birthday. Sorry, the
Wow.
ticket link went live on my birthday.
Yeah,
And because I'm the 30th of August, it was like a proper little birthday treat.
yeah,
And all my
definitely.
mates
Yeah,
were all, their birthdays have been and gone. And I was like, oh, yeah. That, like, out of all the prezzies that I got, the undies and the socks that I got, the O2 Academy was probably the best prezzy.
I can't believe that the ticket link going on sale topped underwear and socks. I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all.
But then going forward from that, second year of college was like a few weeks after, and then I was walking in and I could just hear a few people muttering like, "O2 Academy, Harry Fazakerley," and I was like, "How do you know about that? That's mad, that." And it was just like closer and closer it got. Even months in advance, I was like, this could like be a good gig, this, because I had so much planned beforehand for regards promotion, and I was going to drop a completely different single, just to give it a bit of a push, but it was. I think it was during October, so the ticket link must have been live for about no, it was September because it was live for 4 weeks. I remember that. 4 weeks it had been live for, and I'd got my physical tickets, and they'd all gone, and then I got a few more, and then they'd all been sold out. And then Sean, like, I got a message on my phone. One of my mates said, "Oh, Faz, I can't buy a ticket for the gig. What's going on?" And then another few messages started dropping in, and I bricked it, thinking, "Oh my god, people are trying to buy tickets and they can't. We need to get this sorted." And then I messaged the promoter, Sean, and he said, like, "Okay, let me double check this because it's a good sign." I went, "What's the sign? Do you want to give us a bit of an insight?" And he said, "I won't say too much, but if people can't buy tickets, it looks like it's sold out." And this was in 4 weeks of being announced and the ticket link being live to the sellout. And then, like, from when that he sent me that message, I just went downstairs, went, "Dad, I think it's sold out. And he went, "Oh, mate, that's boss, that." As he sat there, like, typing away with some electrical work he's doing, proper doing his head in. And then I came back upstairs and I sat down, and it was a bit like a surreal moment. Like, I was just sat, like, just on my couch over there, going, "Oh my God, if this is true, I might have sold out the O2 Academy for the deadline in December." And then I got a message back in a few days after, and it said, "Yeah, mate, it's done. We're going to get the sold out poster within a day or two, and you can post that." And I was like, "Yes, that's such a relief." Oh my God. Because when the word headline gets thrown at your mark, you think immediately, "Are we going to get enough heads through the door for this to sell out, or for it to be a good gig?" And with the weight getting lifted off the shoulders in such a quick space of time, it's just like one of them feelings where you just like when you're going through airport security and you take all your baggage off and you've done all your passports and you can just sit there and wait for your flight. That's the feeling, to put it like in a separate, like, a similar type of feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when it just got closer and closer to the date, I was thinking, "Oh Christ, I've got nothing to promote it with now, because if it's sold out, I don't really know what to do." And obviously, it's just me and my dad, like, whacking heads against each other. There's no other team around us, like, and he's going, "Why don't you post a little video, of doing a cover? Why don't you post it like a little what you're up to type of thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout."
Yeah.
And, like, as I say, he's just a spark off the veil. We're making it up as we go along. And he's going, "Yeah, you can do this, you can do that." And I can go, "Oh, we could do this, go to like the O2 itself and do a video and promote it there." Because even though it's sold out, because it's sold out so quickly, people might forget that they bought a ticket. And we were doing that and we're pushing it. And then on the day, I had like so much plans. I had merch, I had caps, t-shirts, posters, CDs. I was doing a Christmas cover, getting my good friend Ellie up. And obviously When Do You Cry, I'd done that last. And throughout that entire, like, you'd think, because it's such a long day, from getting there from about, I think we got there at 2:30 and left at 11:30, you'd think, like, you get tired, wouldn't you? Get fed up. But I was just sat there all day with a smile on my face like that. "Oh, this is boss."
And so then, with that gig, then did it feel sort of like, that you, like, for you personally, that you maybe realised that people were genuinely buying into what you are about as an artist? And obviously, you said there you sold out, from within 4 weeks, the ticket sales. So then, sorry, excuse me, did you feel then that that was kind of like the moment that you sort of thought, "Yeah, do you know what? There's definitely something happening here with me now."
Yeah, well, it's a good question, that, Mark. I feel like even off the back of that now, it's like a bit weird because in my head, I'm just like trying to earn a living from playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And the dream, like, I was talking to my dad about this before, and I said to him, the dream was never to have Harry Fazakerley in lights. It was just to be able to, like, and still is, to just be able to put food on the table by singing some songs
Yeah.
and playing the guitar for however many people or however little amount of people. But when that gig sold out and I did it and it done as well as what it did, it was like almost a bit of a switch in my head that went, I do just want to earn a living from playing the guitar, however that may be, singing covers in pubs, teaching, or singing original music. The possibility of it being Harry Fazakerley, it started to like become more of a reality. And I need to convince myself because I'm still not fully convinced. Like when all these things get thrown at me, I'm just like that lad who started when he was 7, showing no interest and thinking, oh my God. And then it turned into the lad who's 14 playing Careless Whisper, going, I just want to play the guitar. I want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
So I suppose in a way it did. But then also it was like having to convince myself that it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because at the stage where I am professionally, I feel like it's almost still very, very underground, which, you know, in a good way, it's boss, because it's like a very well-kept secret, as you introduced me as.
Well, as I say, it's definitely not going to be a best-kept secret for too much longer, in my view. I mean, you know, selling out, venues each time, I think just sort of underlines that for me personally. But one thing obviously does stand out in your sort of like your live I don't know, career, I guess. Don't really know what the right word is, but you obviously secured a very long-term residency at the Halfway House.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which obviously you were the first artist to do that as well since Jamie Webster, I believe. So how did that come about and for you and obviously following in Jamie's footsteps, who I know who's doing a lot for emerging artists, not just in Liverpool, but sort of a little bit further afield as well. So yeah, how did that come about, and how much did you enjoy that experience?
Well, it was so the way it came about was I was gigging in a little boozer called the Lord Nelson, and that boozer will always stay close to my heart because it was the first boozer that when I was like 15, when this all started, went, you know what? Let's give you a go. Like I've heard you sing the appeal tunes. Let's get this cracking. And like the woman in there, Lynn Thomas, she is so lovely, and I owe her so much. When I turn 18, I'm gonna buy her a glass of red wine. Like that's how much I like view of her. Alison, she was looking for a singer because that's the lady in the halfway house.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like thinking, Jamie's doing what he's doing now. We've had people come and go in the half. Nobody's ever stuck. They've only ever had 1 or 2 gigs, but it's never been what Jamie brought in type of thing. It was never as good as what he delivered, and it never felt the same. But I feel like, you're never going to replicate that, are you? Because he's him and I'm me. And then I got a phone call off her and she said, "Are you Harry Fazakerley?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, who's asking?" And she said, "I run the halfway house. Would you be interested in coming down and having a chat?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I recognise that boozer. Is it like famous or whatever?" And she went, "No, it's where Jamie Webster used to sing before the matches." I was like, "Oh, big shoes to fill, yeah." Oh, I'm only a size 9. She's going, "Let's get you down. Let's have a chat." So then we went down, and it was in the summer, and I'd finished school. I'd just started college, or I was just starting, filling out my forms, getting ready for college. And then she said to us, "What would you be interested in doing?" And I said, "Well, you know what? I sing the appeal songs and I sing a few covers. So if you want us to do that, I'll be well up for it." And she went, Jamie used to sing in here, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm very aware that I'm singing in his footsteps." And she went, "Yeah, you'll be sound. And then it was before Christmas where like finalised, because I still have my residency in the Cop End Bar, where the Liverpool songs started in there. She said, okay, the karaoke, we've given him a miss. Graham is sidelined and we're going to get you in. And I was thinking, oh, here we go. This is like make or break. And then I'm setting up and all of the fellas are going, hey, do you know Jamie used to sing in here? And I'm going, yep, I've heard, fella. It's been mentioned once or twice. And then they're going, hey, are you a bit like Jamie, yeah? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never met him. And then I'm setting him up your guitar and then I'm like, get me mic up. And then this fella came and looking back, he was absolutely swizzled, been bevying all day and chatting away to us. And he's going, yeah, I knew Jamie when he was in here. I hope you're good. Are you good? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me, type of thing. And then I'm starting. And then there was a few tunes in. Alison turned to me dad and went, would you like to do the season? And she went, I just want to tell you, we haven't given the residency to anybody since Jamie. And I was like, oh my God, that's our boss, that, like Webster's residency. And then I was just thinking, like, I'm singing in his footsteps. And it just seemed to be like everywhere I went following that, it was almost as if I was an arm's reach from him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if now's probably the perfect time to tell you my news, Mark, my big announcement.
Yeah, go for it, man. That's we love to hear sort of things like that, and yeah, we're all ears. So fire away, Harry.
Right. So the date is the 5th of Feb. I got told this news last Tuesday. Sean Nib, my promoter, rang me up, and he's turned into a bit of a manager role, unofficially. And he said, Harry, I really appreciated that you turned down a festival. And that's true because I turned down a festival for May this year. I said to the man, I don't think it'll be right for me because I'm doing a little festival earlier in May. Again, I'm not disclosing anything, but, wink, wink. And so he said, I just want to reward you for showing your loyalty. And it's like, it really means a lot. And I said, okay, where's this going? Because I'm getting up for college and I'm a bit bog-eyed. It's 11:15 because that's my life. Wake up at 11, go to college for 1. My mum says I've got to leave it early, and I fully agree. And Sean's belled us at 11:15, and I've been up for 15 minutes, and I've got some tea. I've got a cup of tea and a bit of toast. And I've sat downstairs watching telly, and he goes, I want to give you a proper big fish to fry to, like, thank you for your loyalty. And he said, would you fancy supporting Jamie Webster at Blackstone Market to 10,000 people?
Wow.
And I said, oh my God, Sean, I love you, and button the phone.
Wow. That is, I mean, sort of like really a full circle moment then, essentially. Like from doing that, the residency, following his footsteps, and now to actually get to support him. Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you for letting me know. Obviously, that already would have been announced, obviously on socials, but obviously we recorded this podcast before then. But sort of then, when you found out about it, was there any like moment you thought, hang on a minute, Sean, this is a wind up, or how's you feeling? How have you managed to keep it in for all this, just over a week or so now?
Well, I haven't. It's been killing us. So it was just after, like, I belled me dad straight away. And again, I was sat on my couch and I went, Dad, I've got some proper boss news for you, guess what? And he's like, oh, let's hear it, mate. And I said, Sean said, would you like to support Webster? And I said, he was driving on his way to a job. And I just said, pull over, because I feel like if I tell you while you're driving, you'll crash. And then I told him to pull over. And then he just went, yeah! 2 arms in the air like that. And then it was just mental. But when Sean told me, he said, would you like to support Jamie? And I went, Webster? And he said, yeah. And I went, oh my God. And I just kept on going, oh my God. And then after I said, I love you, I made myself just look like a bit of a fool. And I love you, and buttoned them. I went, yes! Just put my ass. Going, yes, get it. And then, like, but I'm thinking now, because it's been like over a week since I've had this news, Jamie Webster must think I'm a wasp at a picnic because I've got his residency and now I'm supporting him. He must think that I'm chasing him.
It'll be you next year. And he'll be supporting you, but he'll have, complete full-on full circle moment come then.
Yeah. So I was like, I haven't even told my mates. I've told one of my mates, and I said to her, Izzy, because again, funnily enough, we were going to get tickets. And then I said to Izzy, I said to her, have you got a ticket for Webster yet? And she went, no, not yet. And I said, buy a ticket for the Sunday. And the poor girl, I haven't like got back to her since. She's been belling me going, Faz, why aren't you talking to me? Why are you telling me to buy a ticket for Webster? And I've just like blanked her. And then one of my mates in college, old Birdie, he cracked the nut. And I didn't even tell him. And it was the day off, because obviously I've been given this news and I'm expected to keep it a secret for like however long they tell me to. And I'm getting the train and I'm just smiling on the train, like I'm like that, whoa, get it. And then we get into college and I go, oh boys, I've got some boss news, but I can't tell you yet. I'll just give it some time. And when like I start to crack, I'll tell you. And then he turns to us and goes, you supporting Webster? I went, oh my God, how's that close? Oh my God, who's told you? And he said, no, it's just a guess. I said, oh, no then, I'm not. So it's been proper killing us. I told like my family and that on Friday, because it was my last birthday last week. And I told my nan, and it was a very humbling experience, because she just went, oh, that's lovely, that. Is he a singer as well? And I was like, do you know what? It's definitely what I needed, because it's just like a bit of ground.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, wow, I can only imagine what a buzz that must have been like when you got offered the opportunity, and then going around and sort of telling a couple of close friends and stuff, and family as well. So yeah, congratulations to you. I'm sure that the socials have already gone crazy now with that news. Now that well.
Yeah, because it'll be announced by then.
Yeah. Obviously, by the time this episode comes out, obviously the world will know. And good luck with the gig as well when it eventually comes around.
Thank you.
So, obviously, one of the reasons that we are here, as well as chatting about your musical sort of journey so far, is to chat about the new single, "When You Cry." We're just a couple of days or a day away. Sorry, when we was recording this podcast of that coming out. And the song, for those that are listening to this episode on Spotify and Apple Podcast, stay tuned, because you'll be able to hear the song, but obviously more importantly, go and stream the song rather than just staying to the end of the podcast to listen to it. But kind of like then, what was happening in your life when this song started to sort of shape?
Yeah, so I love talking about it because it's such an emotional song. So it was the first practice with the band. We just got the first practice in before the gig, and obviously we've been like a band. Well, they've been playing with me for a good few months now, and we've all been friends since I asked them to like play with me. And we came home, like my dad picked us up, and I was just sat downstairs, and I was doing all like the boring business stuff that nobody tells you that comes with music. I'm sat there working out finances and seeing how long my set list is going to be and all of that, the proper boring stuff. And then I just went, oh, like this, where's the guitar? I'm sat downstairs and it's about 11:30, and I've got like my notebook that I've got for writing tunes. And I had the chords for so long because they're just so easy. It's just an E&A. And then we had that, like I was just sat downstairs, and my friend, as Joe Bird in college, he wants me to name him because he wants the tune to be known, for people to know that the song is about him. So it's his claim to fame. He was in a relationship at the time, and it was going a bit rocky, and I felt a bit sorry for him because he was a bit down in the dumps, and he was feeling sorry for himself. And I was like, oh, bless, come on, let's go for a scoff after college and all of that, because or in college, because that's all we got up to. Yeah. So then it started off, and I had that chorus at first. What do you think you look like when you cry? And that was almost so emotional because I wanted I wanted the characteristics of the song to still be indie, and I didn't want it to be taken as like a pity song or a slow song or whatever, like a slowy that people dance to. And I had that, and I needed it to like still be as Indian as what I've already released before. And but the way that came about was they were having an argument, and he was saying to us like, "I just don't know what she thinks she looks like because she just makes such of a show out of herself." And I was like, "Oh, that could be a decent little hook for the tune."
Yeah.
And I say to all my mates now, you need to stop being me mate because I'll write a tune about you. And that sooner than later. And so I haven't cracked on with all of them yet, but he's ticked off the list. And so then I had that. What do you think you look like when you cry? And that essentially means stop and look at and reflect at what you're doing and how your actions are making you seem, because you might feel strongly about being in the right or in the wrong with an argument that you've had with your partner or a friend or whatever, family member even, but just take a minute to think that, are you almost doing this for yourself, for your own self-respect, or to just be a fool and doing it for the argument's sake? And then the second bit of the chorus, don't come over to me after you've said goodbye, is almost knowing when to walk away and to take a step back from a relationship or a friendship or even work or a career, and being able to go, no, this is not working for me, and I need to just take a few steps back and try and clarify why I started this and learn what got me into this in the first place, and basically understand why I wanted to put myself through so much like heartbreak and so many arguments for the sake of just see you later type of thing. And I feel like when the song gets released, well, it will be released by the time this goes out, I just want that message to be known, and I want people to just be able to hear the emotion of the song throughout, and like the build up of it, because that was a big part of it. The build up, like the whoas, bit of a spoiler there. We had that, and when we were in the practice room and I showed the lads, Googie, my guitarist, Charlie, he said, "Do you know what would sound boss?" Because it was all anticipation for the O2. And he said, bit of a riff going through so you can sing along, get the crowd going. And in my head, I'm going, do you reckon they'll sing? And he's going, of course they will, Faz. Have a bit of optimism about you. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see the score. And then he's doing it. And then I posted the little clip onto Instagram, and it done really well. And people were like, oh, this sounds good. And then I was teasing When You Cry for about 8 weeks. And I hadn't recorded it. And I was thinking, after Christmas, I might need to like get my finger out and get it recording. Because after the gig, I had people coming to us like on Bold Street in Liverpool, which is like a very famous street because it's just outside the central. And they were going, oh, when's When You Cry getting released? I have to go, soon, stick with us, it's coming. And like I hadn't even recorded it, I hadn't even had a demo. And then we went to the studio, and then we did what we did, and then that's it. But I feel like that song is just, well, I hope it's gonna go down well, like live and on the platforms, because I just want people to feel the emotion and hopefully, get a bit of a bit of a comfort out of it, and try to understand, or I don't know what the word is, I can't think, but like a bit of feeling that, a bit relatable. I want people to relate to it.
Yeah. Do you feel then that the When You Cry is where you are now as an artist? Definitely. In terms of sort of like the sound that that often the songs come out with, and often like the message as well that's within the song as well. Is that a fair reflection of where you are now? Do you think that you're going to be, if as we move further forward, looking ahead into the year, which we will come on to in a little bit, but do you think this is going to be the sort of the sound and not necessarily the lyrical content as such, but do you think this is where you're going to be going for the next few releases, or are we going to see something completely different?
Well, I hope so, because I think this one's half sound.
Yeah.
But with regards to writing, I know a few people who like aim to try sound like a certain artist or a certain band or whatever, but like when I like try to write a tune, I'll just be sitting there, watching the telly in my room, and then I'll be messing about with the guitar, and I'll like just get this nice chord progression, and there's no sort of like inspiration towards it or whatever. But I hope the next one that I write is half as decent as When You Cry. But I hope so. It'll be big boss if the next few tunes turn out to be half the song as what When You Cry is. But going forward, I'd like to hope, but I'd rather move closer to the band sound because
Right.
I love being an acoustic musician and a solo artist and all of that. But performing live, I feel like, especially with me song Temptress, the When You Cry, especially when I perform them by myself, just with me and the acoustic, loses what made it what it is on the recording and live and such. When they're played by myself, it almost the bare bones of what it started out with. And in a way, that's good and it's a positive thing because it's how it starts. You don't get anywhere without the beginning. And like, I just hope that I can move forward and bring the lads with us because it's a proper laugh as well, and it's less boring.
Yeah, that one I guess is which I guess really where you're going with it as well is it's obviously nice to be able to experience it with someone who's kind of like, or not just someone, but if there's a few people within the band, but experiencing maybe like a similar set of emotions to
Yeah,
yourself and all of that, the pre-gig nerves or being in the studio recording and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I would just, obviously we've spoken a little bit there about when you cry, but I just want to go back really to sort of your debut single,
yeah,
obviously called Patience, come back out came out even in 2024.
yeah,
Obviously it's past 14,500 Spotify streams at the time of recording this episode.
yeah.
When you put it out, did you have any expectations as to how well it was going to do?
Not at all. Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, to put it into perspective, I said to all my mates, if it gets over 100 streams, I'll have a party in ours. And then it got past 100 and they all said, Faz, are we having this party then or what? And I said, let's get it to 1,000 first before we start jumping the gun. And then, like, after a few days, it got to 1,000 and I was like, oh, Jesus, no, I don't want to have a party. My man and dad will just kill us. And then I said, do you know what? Okay, final straw, 10,000. If it hits 10,000, I'll have this party. And then, surprise, surprise, I got 10,000. And a few of them still say to us now, where's this party for patients?
Oh,
And I'm like, no, look at him, just shut up. But like when that got played at Anfield and all of that, like I've been going to match since a very young age, and obviously being a Liverpool fan, it's like monumental experience because like going to match, like I'd started going when I think I just started playing the guitar maybe. First match was Chelsea, Liverpool 1-1, and I never thought, as I say, going back to before, even Harry Fazakerley being this sort of like brand or whatever, I never
yeah,
thought that one of my tunes would be on being played at Anfield. I never thought that was in reach
I can imagine.
because like that was just it's still mad. Looking back now, that was just boss. I'm so thankful for that. It was George Sefton. Uh, Sent us a little happy birthday message as well. Bless him. We're Facebook friends now.
proper friends.
Yeah, yeah,
and and obviously with the two singles that preceded Patience, obviously I Want to Go Home, and
yeah.
obviously Temptress as well. Even how do you feel those two songs have sort of helped shape your sound and I guess as almost like as a confidence as well as an artist?
Yeah, so I'd say it's a lot easier to go out and try do an original music gig when you've got a bit of a bit of a catalogue behind you
Mhm.
regards music. Because I know a lot of bands now who are just starting out and they've got no singles getting released, and they always ask me for a bit of advice. And I always try to say to them, like, don't jump the gun, don't jump into a recording studio too early because you might do something that you might regret. And luckily enough, I don't regret any of the singles because like they're all me little babies. Like they're just boss. I think that they're like jingly jangly, nice songs, and I hope other people do as well. So I just like regards with them. I love them, and Temptress is my little personal favorite out of all of them. But I feel like that's because that was the first one that I got like the other lads to jump on,
Right.
and that was like a bit of a statement for myself anyway, like professionally. That felt like the sounds and the type of music that I wanted to go out and release a bit more,
Mhm.
and hopefully continue to like write a bit like that. And regards to I want to go home, I still hold that as close to my heart as the others. But like that was just me. I played the bass on it, the electric guitar, sang the acoustic guitar, rhythm, and like as much as I still love that song, I feel like with Temptress because that sounds a bit full, and
Mhm.
you've got like the backing of talented musicians who are miles above me. It just feels like that is the song that I love dearly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's nothing wrong at all with having a favourite song that obviously you've released in whatsoever, in my opinion. Obviously, Harry, you did just mention there, obviously about being a Liverpool fan. Obviously, I know that
Yeah.
you are a massive supporter, obviously, and you go to the games and all of that sort of stuff. But obviously, I've got to talk about the here and now. What champions, obviously, like last season. This year,
Oh,
I've watched a few of the games.
yeah.
I can't quite work out what's going on, so I don't know what it's like for you as a Liverpool fan.
Well, you can't see, yeah, but like I've got loads of Liverpool memorabilia. I've even got like the Champions League trophy down there that me dad
Nice.
got in 2005, but I've blanked them out to try keep them in a neutral face. Like I'd say, regards to footy, it's painful, but I'm not one of these people who was saying get slot out because that's not my mindset and that's not the Liverpool mindset because we've never like sacked the manager halfway through the season after what he's done and say with it when it was Roy Hodgson, if it was like
Hmm.
that sort of like repeat in history, it would be a bit fair to say get him out because Roy Hodgson didn't do much and it's a bit of a laughable moment in Liverpool's history. But I'd say give Slot the rest of the season because he's came out in interviews and said he wants the Champions League. So we're performing well in the Champions League, and if that's all that matters to him, then I feel like as a fan base we should try and support his decision and almost like continue to support the players and the manager because as soon as you've lost the fans, you've lost the dressing room.
Mm. Yeah, no,
What do I know?
definitely. Yeah, no, definitely. I think I was the one thing that I was surprised the transfer windows obviously just shut. That you
Yeah,
didn't. I know you wanted to sign the lad from Crystal Palace in like the summer window, and obviously he's gone off to
yeah,
Man City now. But I did find it a little bit surprising that you didn't go and sign a centre half.
me too.
To be fair, in January, mind you, that's just the same as my. It seems to be a theme with me at the minute. I'm a
Who
West
do you
Ham
support
fan.
that? Oh,
Yeah,
West Ham.
yeah. And we need some centre halves as well, and we decided not well. We signed someone from Chelsea on loan who hasn't
Yeah.
played since I think April like last year.
Ooh.
Not because he's been injured, just because he hasn't been picked. So I
Oh,
don't know. I don't quite know where he is at the minute, but we'll find out soon enough. But obviously, back to Liverpool. It's not about me, obviously. Obviously, you just mentioned Patience played pre-match at Anfield, one of the games there. What was your reaction to sort of when that was happening? Did you know that was going to happen beforehand?
yeah. I got a bit of a nod to say like, but I couldn't get a ticket for the game. Myself and my dad, we got in touch with the club and said this is happening. It's my debut release and it's getting played at Anfield. So therefore we can like get any tickets. But they said, oh, I'm sorry, like all of the resale tickets have already been pushed back out. They said if it was like a bit like further back, they might have been able to do something just for the two of us. Like, but it was only like a few days before and that it was getting played. But what we did was we got like me man and me dad. My brother doesn't watch the footy; he's not that into it. And we sat around and we had Sky Sports on, and we were just going like that. Turn it up, turn it up. Do you reckon you can hear anything? And it was the commentary beforehand and like the post match and pre match interviews, and we were just going, "Can you hear it? Is it on the speakers now? Who do you know who's at the game? Message such and such. Is that such and such at the game? Give them a bell. Can we hear it?" And we were sat there, and at first I was a bit disheartened because I was like, "Oh, we can't hear it." But looking back now, how on earth are we meant to hear what's going on in the ground when you've got like Carragher talking in a microphone? So that was a bit like naive of us, but a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And then I got a message like in my inbox on Instagram on the business account, the music one, and it was a video. What's this? So I accepted the message, and I seen that it was a video of the ground, and then I looked at it, and it was the tune. I was like, yes, somebody's managed to like get a recording of it, because I'd look like such a plum if I'd say on Instagram, "Oh, tune on Anfield tonight," and then I'd have no like promotions to go with it. I just look like talking talk and not walking any walk. So I was over the moon. Like, I was so thankful that the lad got in touch with us and said, "Yeah, there's a video. You don't need to like tag me at any. You can just have it." And I was like, "Oh, thank God for that." Then I got told it got played a few more times, but surprise, surprise, no video evidence. And we live in an age where like phones are just in your pocket.
Yeah,
I got that one video of the tune in Anfield, and I can it's something to tell the grandkids about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, one thing that you have got evidence of is obviously you featured in the matchday program ahead of a Champions League game. How did that feel? Must have been quite surreal, right? Obviously, the club that you've supported your whole life, read programs countless of times, and various interviews with different people, and then there you are in print talking about your love for Liverpool.
Well, it's mad because like going the game growing up, like the tradition was like some people get pins or scarves or whatever, but I used to buy programs, and like going from my first game, Chelsea 1-1, to like the other week and that, I'd always get a program, and then the little fella who sits behind the counter who sells the programs in the ground, like for years I'd see him and I'd go, "Can I get a program, please?" And then I go, "Can I get a program, please?" From like day to day, and then to like go up to him and say, "Can I get a program?" And then to look in it and see my face and like a little baby photo of me at the ground. That was like a full circle moment, because like I've got all the programs from the grounds up there, and I've got my own one in my little chest of drawers by my bed, because that's like a little special one.
Yeah.
But then I seen all the people like buying them as we were sat in the cop. And then I just look around the grounds, and like half time I'd see people reading, and then I'd go, "Do you reckon they're reading about us, Dad?" And I'd be like, imagine that. And there's just some fella sat over there going, "All right, this kid sounds like, he looks like he's trying to crack the music." And I'm going, yeah, I'm over here, mate. You know, right? But it's mad because like when that happened, I was in the ground and like in the concourse, and I was reading it, and I was like, "Hold on, there's a few stories that they haven't printed here." Like, I remember talking to them about patience, especially saying, the first time I sang it, I was at my friend's, like, leaving to going to the Navy, and we were all round the campfire in the back garden, and then one of my mates said, "Yeah, Faz, play that song that you've just wrote. Come on, give us a tune, sing it for us." And I was like, they've missed it out. They've cut it. But I didn't care. I still don't care now. I hold no grudges, and I don't lose any sleep, because like they included far much more information. I thought it was going to be a little like corner piece of the page like that, but it was a double spread.
Yeah.
And I was, oh my God, my face is everywhere. I'm fed up as shit.
Well, as I say, memories to last a lifetime, really. It's great to see. I think it's a great thing as well that the club are, trying to help, promote, one of their own, essentially. Yeah, kudos to the people behind the scenes at Liverpool, at the football club there. So on every This Is the Music Meets podcast, Harry,
Mhm.
I ask our guests a series of questions that are sort of designed to find out a little bit more about the artist, that a little bit more about them, really, well, not just their
Get
music
it.
stuff. But so the first question is quite a difficult one. What are your three favorite albums of all time?
Oh, of all time. Well, in the summer, I went to the Royston Club album launch, and I went to see them at Sound City because like they were the headliner, stuff like that. And I really got like a proper feel for them. I was like, oh yeah, these are decent, And I knew that they were based in Liverpool as well, even though they're Wrexham lads.
Yeah,
That's a personal favourite because I reckon that's a boss album. No skips.
yeah, no,
So
definitely, yeah, it's a great album. Yeah,
that I can't even remember what it's called. That album itself.
uh,
And then I think regards like growing up, Oasis was always on. Never managed to get any tickets, but um, I'd say Morning Glory is definitely up there as a number two. And then I'd say, but you know what? I was gonna say, do you know what? I'll drop Oasis in spite of not getting any tickets because I won't have that. If I never got to see them, I'll blacklist them. Uh, I'll say the best of James, and then either the best of U2 or best of Bowie. Or
nice.
you
Yeah,
know what? Actually, I'm dropping Royston and I'm going to have Bowie, U2, and James.
brilliant. So we've got about six albums, I think, there, but it's all good. It's all good. What is the best gig you've ever attended as a fan?
Right. Uh, Tell you what, I feel like I got to too many gigs at this point.
There's
Oh my
nothing wrong
God.
with that at all, in my view.
No. But there is with the bank. Oh, uh, I tell you what, I went to see Roger Waters when I was, 2018. So a few years ago. That was a brilliant gig. But I'd say my personal favourite was the Cheap Thrills at the Olympia in 2024. I think that's the best gig I've been to. The lineup on that, it had Quayside, who have just blown up. They're everywhere, and the lovely lads. And I'm so happy to see them flying as highly as what they are.
Mhm.
It had Toy Car. Oh no, sorry, that was in where is it? Never mind. Different gig. That had Quayside, The Sway, and another band. Who was it? A Manchester band. Oh, it'll come back to me. But yeah, the Cheap Thrills at the Olympia 2024. That's my personal favourite gig. Best gig I've ever been to.
Brilliant, nice. We've obviously spoken about a couple of the gigs that you've played and headlined and stuff like that. So, what is is there one venue that you're desperate to maybe headline next, or you want to tick off? Maybe desperate's not the right word, but you
Yeah.
want to tick off your list.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I'd say well for ages I wanted to say the O2 Academy, but then I've had that. But I mean, like I'm a bit of a unfortunate, not unoptimistic fella. Like I try to just like take each day as it goes.
Yeah,
So I don't know. If I had to dream, I'd say the big room in the O2 because I've done the little room. Now I'll go for the big one.
there you go. Why not? Absolutely. And what's currently on repeat in your playlist?
Oh, oh, with or without you by U2 live from
Nice.
Paris, 1987. That's been on repeat. I think that's such a well done tune live, and I'd
Mhm.
love to go see. They're a band I'd love to go and see, especially growing up with all of that. So, been all these things that I have done by the Killers. I've had that on quite a few times.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of the Snuts. I've had Always in Glasgow. They've been on quite a few times. And then um, She's a Star by James. About that.
Nice
Oh,
actually. Yeah,
and then Rebel Rebel.
classic,
Oh,
couple of classics to finish off that question. And what then? To a couple, well, not a couple of months, but we're in the second month of 2026. What can we expect from you, Harry? What are we looking at? Have you got it mapped out yet for what you want to do for this year?
yeah. So we've got like a bit of a plan set in stone now. Obviously, we've got February now, and then when You Cry is getting released in 3 hours, but by this gets out, it'll be out. So we've got that coming out tonight. Then we've got a festival in May in Liverpool. Name no names. I haven't been announced on it yet. And then we've got I'm going to Järvik to sing some Liverpool songs
Nice.
in Norway. That's in July. Uh, Obviously supported Jamie Webster. That's in July as well. So busy month.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, you can expect an headline in Liverpool. Oh, also, not yet announced, but I'll also be supporting John Denton in Manchester for his EP launch.
Wow, amazing. Love John. He's a brilliant. Obviously, just had his new single came out.
Yeah,
last week.
last week.
Last week, yeah. I should have known. I wrote him a review, so I should remember. That's worrying. That is very worrying. But look, Harry, it sounds like you're going to have a fantastic 2026. Some really big stuff going in there, and honestly, look, I wish you the best of luck
Thank
with
you.
it because I mean I've thoroughly enjoyed the three releases that are already out at the time of recording this, and obviously When You Cry coming out as well. I think is
Yeah.
another fantastic song, and I think it's gonna get your music heard by a few more a few more music heads and all that sort of stuff. Look, yeah, that is the end of the podcast, Harry. But thanks very much for joining me on episode 164 of
Wow.
the This Is the Music Meets podcast. But before I let you go, can you just let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find Harry Fazakerley on?
Of course. So I'm on Instagram as Harry Fazakerley. Then everything Harry Fazakerley, but in Liverpool, Fazakerley is a district. So for the people outside, and it's a hospital as well, which is always handy whenever people ask us, how do you spell that? So it's Fazak, Fazak, yeah, anyway, Harry Fazakerley.
There you go, brilliant. Look, we're going to put those links in the episode bio, as long as well with the link to the new single, which obviously we said earlier on, you'll be able to hear at the end of the episode. Harry, best of luck with the single. Obviously, it's out now, as we've discussed. And as I said before, everything you've got going on for 2026 as well, I think is going to be a really exciting time for you. Good luck with everything because, in my opinion, it's fully deserved as well. So, yeah,
Oh,
good
thank
luck
you.
with everything, mate.
Thank you very much, Mark. Means a lot, that.
All that leaves me to say is to thank you for watching the latest This Is the Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on the brand new episodes. And if you're loving the episode, please leave a comment and a like, as it really will help us beat those algorithms. If you're watching this episode on Spotify or listening on Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned because at the end of this episode, you'll be able to hear Harry Fazakerley's brand new single, When You Cry, which is out now on all streaming and download platforms. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for another This Is the Music Meets podcast. And remember, the future is bright, the future is indie.